My name is Crister Mattson. I'm from Sweden, and I work as a senior advisor in a research institute that is founded by the Swedish government and the industry also. They own a small part. We do research in broadband, mostly technical research. Me personally looked more into the impact for the society of broadband. So we do different studies, mostly socioeconomic studies, and we look into what is actually happening in the society after you deployed fiber. And we also measure things like how traffic changes and so on. So there's a lot of studies at the moment.
What's your thoughts on the current infrastructure based here in Donegal at the minute?
Yeah, there is a lot of different initiatives, and as far as I can see, they are separated from each other. So what you probably need to do is to put them together and to put the public sector in the driver's seat behind the steering wheel to do this. There's many very interesting initiatives here. But I believe you need to coordinate it, and also to put into account what the value are for the citizens and for the public sector. We can see from many places where the municipality deployed fiber that they can reduce their cost on public administration a lot. Cost for communication can be reduced with 30 to 50%, and that represents a lot of money. And we can also see if you have networks that are operator neutral, so you can bring in competitive operators, that will reduce the cost for the enterprises and for the individuals. And that, of course, is a value for us all.
You made a lot of very valid points in your presentation. One of them, you were talking about the costs and relating to the road infrastructure, and it's a fraction for...
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that we consider broadband to be telecommunication, and in my way to see it, it's infrastructure. And one of the things that should use that infrastructure is, of course, telecommunication, together with a lot of other things, operators and enterprises. But the public sector will probably have 50% of the turnover in communication. We estimate it to be 50% of all the traffic to be public sector, healthcare and public administration and so on. And if we compare this with the management of the street, if you build a street, how often do the politicians ask you for a business case? I have never heard it. If people live there and work there, you need a street. And then, of course, the market should do the communication. You put the market to compete on the services. But there is a natural monopoly, and that is on the right-of-ways, on the streets, on the ground infrastructure. So I think that is a lesson that we can use again and again and again.
What lessons do you hope the delegates will take away from your presentation today?
A new angle to the situation of broadband, to take it away from the telco view and said this is infrastructure for society, and to mix the benefits for the individuals, benefits for the society, benefits for enterprises, and also for operators. For example, you can't afford to build a fiber network for LTE if you are the only user on that network. That would be too expensive. But if you can share it with other operators, with the public sector and all that, then you can build a really good LTE network, because the backbone for LTE is fiber. You need fiber at all the sites to be able to have LTE. So we can see in places where there is a lot of fiber to hire, that you also have 3 and maybe 4 competing 4G operators, which will reduce the prices, but also have good differentiation on the service level.
What difference can you compare the broadband infrastructure in Ireland to your home country?
Yeah, we are very similar. I would say I was surprised when I come in here last night because the landscape and the structure looks really similar, and I think we have a lot of things in common, not only the nature but also the way of thinking. And the reason why so many Swedish municipalities are taking initiatives in this is because the market were not interested to do things. And we saw people moving away from small municipalities to larger cities because there were lack of infrastructure. And I think that is something that we can learn. So those places in our poor region of Europe that has most fiber to the home is the low density situations. We could see municipality where 80% has fiber to the home, and it's not the rich municipalities.